Good morning, everybody. Um, Hard to believe that we are in this situation. Uh, I'm just sitting here without a mask on, thinking to myself, like, how 24 hours has completely changed and 48 hours has completely changed what we're doing here. I think your name is Brooklyn Garst. You're signed in as Human. Is that on purpose? Hold on, let me turn this.
My bad. I got it. I can change it.
Oh, you're all right. I just want to let you know that for the future. So that your teacher.
Was my bad.
I'm a nice person, so I let you in, but I know there's other teachers that would be like, probably not. So we're gonna get started today. I'm not going to teach for 50 minutes or anything crazy like that. I'm just gonna teach for as long as I normally would, and however long it lasts, it lasts. I mean, if you were in class, it would be 50 minutes till the bell rings, like if everyone were here. But we all know everyone's not here, and some of you probably still need to brush your teeth and maybe even have a light breakfast or something to that extent. I can tell Ethan's still in bed. Miss you, bud. Where's your backpack and your trapper keeper and your lunchbox and all that? You didn't pack it today, did you? Still in bed. That's all right. You're not the only one. We're still letting people in here. I got a lot of videos turned on. That's cool. Hope you guys are here. Oh, wow, look at those cool lights. Man, nice. Nice. Hey, Tony Wells, do you mind unmuting for a minute?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
Here.
Okay, did you just get put in my class or something?
Yeah, I'm a new student.
I got you. Did you go to a different school the first few weeks, or what's up?
Yeah, I went to University High School in Carmel.
Oh, nice. Did you know Jameer Jackson?
No.
He transferred there. He plays basketball there. I had him 2 years ago in world history class. Cool. Well, welcome back here. Did you go to middle school with any of these guys? Any of these people?
No, I went to elementary with some of these kids.
Okay. Where'd you go to middle?
Middle school, I went to Riverside and Fishers.
All right. Oh, so you've been around the block. Well, welcome to North Central virtually. My name is Mr. Burnett. If you want to, when we're done here, I can kind of explain how some of this stuff works. All right.
Okay.
That'd probably be the best. And then now that I know you're in my class, I won't feel awkward when I let you in on the Zoom, because I've been Zoom bombed like 3 times. I don't want that to happen again. So cool. All right. Well, Tony, glad you're here. We're gonna get going here. Francesca, always great that you have your video on. Appreciate that. What flag is that in the background again?
It's the Dominican flag.
Dominican, right? Are people in the United States able to go to the Dominican right now?
I'm not sure. My grandma came here probably 2 months ago.
Okay.
So I'm guessing.
Yeah. We went there twice for like celebrating our anniversary, because it's always over winter break, my wife and I.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. The beaches are beautiful. But we didn't do too much exploring. So next time we go back, I want to go explore a little bit more. So
Get the street food. The street food is the best.
yeah, we got this crummy resort food. It was average at best, I would say. So we're trying to get a little more adventurous here in our older days. All right, well, great. I'm glad we got 23 on here. Thanks, Francesca. A little morning chat. We're gonna get going. So I gotta figure out again how the screen share works with everyone not in the room. It's really, I don't know. I feel like every time I figure something out, we change systems again. So, all right, in the chat box while I take attendance. So everyone knows how to use the chat box. Name 3 inventions made during the Middle Ages. Supposed to say in China. Whoops. That we still use today. I'm going to add in China. There we go. All right, so take a crack at that, and we'll see what our responses are. This is a bit of a review from yesterday. All right, so taking a look at responses here: paper, printer, gunpowder, compass, clocks, printers, printing press. Yeah, it's movable type, paper money. I used that yesterday. I got some Jimmy John's. I paid cash because I didn't want my wife to know that I was getting a Sammy because she would have gotten mad at me. She wants me to eat salad, but I didn't tell you that. Anyways, all right, good. Make sure you respond here. Okay, this is how I know that you're doing what you're supposed to do, which is actually paying attention. Nice, Kamira. Compass, paper, clock. Good. All right. Ian, totally right. If you pay cash, the government can't track your purchases. I didn't tell you that. It sounds probably shady, but yes, you are right. So when I go take the dog later to get her nails clipped, definitely paying cash. Or not paying cash, paying with card. But like if I go get bait at the bait store, I pay with cash because I don't want my wife to track it or the government. So there you go. All right, we're gonna get moving here. So today we're gonna look at the Mongols. All right, Mongols are some of the coolest. I don't know. I'd say hard to say cool because they killed so many people. I'd say maybe one of the most unique things we'll talk about in this class, just because of the fact that they weren't around all that long, but they just wreaked havoc on all of the basically every single place we've talked about in the last month, except for America. They destroy, but then they become part of them. So it's hard to say they're bad. I don't know. All right. So you guys have probably heard of the country of Mongolia. It's a little bit north of China. And these people kind of just followed around herds. There's not a lot of like farmland there. And so they herded goats and sheep. And the way that they did that is they learned to ride on horses at the age of like 6. And they learned to ride horses without stirrups. I don't know if y'all have ever ridden a horse before, but usually stirrups keep you on it, keep your feet locked in, and you're able to control the horse a little bit better. But at the age of 6, these people learned how to ride a horse without stirrups. And so they were able to move very, very quickly. It's been said that they could shoot a bow and arrow backwards, like up to 300 yards. That's 3 football fields and hit something. They also could like sleep on their horse and ride for 3 days at a time without falling, like sleeping and eating on their horse. Okay. So pretty tough culture, a lot of war too, because they weren't really organized. This is where they were from. Ian, yeah, I gotta look that up. What kind of horses? I forget. You know, they had like a certain kind that kids would learn on, and then they weren't like massive horses. They were built more like speed, not like the Clydesdales you see at the in St. Louis when I was growing up. But yeah, Ethan, let Ian have curiosity in something. My goodness. It's okay. All right, so you guys see on the map here, this is where Mongolia is. All right. And again, you can see this is called the steppes of Asia. They lived in yurts. You guys see these yurts? There's a lot of like national parks in the United States now that are making these things. They're calling them like glamping, like fancy camping, glamorous camping. Get it? Glamping. And but in reality, I had 2 kids last year in my classes who lived in China for a couple years, and they went to Mongolia and did this yurt experience. It's pretty cool. They're movable tents. That's what they lived in. You can just see how rugged the terrain is and how hard it is to make stuff, to make food. So that's good, Ian. At least I didn't get schooled by the Google. I appreciate it. All right, so moving on here. Basically, the Mongols didn't organize into like a big civilization because they're constantly looking for food and raiding other larger civilizations for food that they couldn't make themselves. And so that moving around a lot meant that they had to move in smaller groups. This is kind of why one of the reasons why the Great Wall of China was built, to keep out groups like the Mongols who were just north of the Middle Kingdom from invading China. The most famous leader of the Mongols, though, was a man who was born. His name was Temujin, and he was born to like a low-class clan, and his father was killed at an early age, and he was kidnapped at the age of 12. And from 12 to 20, he ended up working his way up in this clan that he was kidnapped in, proving to be a really good leader. And at what's called a Kurultai, which is the meeting of all of the Mongol clans, they elected Genghis Khan, whose birth name again was Temujin, to be the leader of the Mongol Empire. All right. He would go in 21 years, he would try to conquer all of Europe and Asia, and he got pretty close to doing it. So if you guys look at this video I'm showing you right here, which is pretty cool. This is the growth of the Mongol Empire by the time Genghis Khan dies. Look at this. It's insane. Okay. Now, keep in perspective, like if you look at this map right now, the Mongols have taken over all of China. They didn't take over India because of the Himalayan and Kush Mountains, which we've talked about, geographic barrier there. Took over all of Persia, almost all of a big portion of like the Greek Byzantine world, all of what was Russia, the Kingdom of Hungary, Poland, and then a lot of land that is inhospitable. I mean, it has a lot of natural gas in it, but that's about it. All right. So if you take a look at this map, this is why they're kind of known for being so famous in such a short amount of time. They created the largest empire in history. They're kind of like, I would say like Alexander the Great, but even just better and more ruthless than the Greeks were. All right. So places that they took over, you guys can see this. The Islamic caliphates, like the Umayyad and Abbasid caliphates that we mentioned the other week, Russia, China, Korea, all fall to the Mongols. So here's a good graphic for you. Check out the size of the Mongol Empire. Okay. I think most of you will recognize that that's a map of the United States of America right there. And then you can see how large the empire was that Genghis Khan created in a short amount of time. All right, Ian, since you are talking about razor horses, you now have to draw a picture and bring it to class on Friday of a razor horse, okay?
I will gladly do so.
Yep, and it has to be a legit hand-drawn picture of what a razor horse is, because I'm curious. In your mind, what you think a razor horse is. Okay, Ethan, you have to make up an alien horse, okay? And you have to bring a hand-drawn picture of an alien horse to school virtually on Friday morning, okay? I'm actually going to make a note of this right now, just so I remember. Period 1, razor and alien horses.
Is there like extra credit in it for me?
Absolutely not. No. In fact, I don't think anything will happen more interesting than this my entire day, if I have to be honest. So this is a great way to start the day virtually. But hey, we got to keep moving because although Tim likes the conversation, we do have probably some mature people that want to keep going forward here. So, and some people that probably want to go back to bed. All right. So how did the Mongols do this? Basically, their army was set up in groups of tens. So tens, 100, and 1,000 soldiers called tumens. And if you didn't win your battle, they basically would take the entire tumen and they would draw straws, and whoever drew the shortest straw was murdered. Okay. And so then when they took over cities, the Mongols, like Genghis Khan, encouraged his soldiers to take a wife with every single city or area they took over. Now, I'm going to say that in the nice way, take a wife. Others that people might use say that they, there's historians that say that they raped and pillaged. I mean, in the video I'm going to show you guys tomorrow, you'll watch on your own tomorrow. I mean, there's like some crazy percentage of Asia can trace their roots back to Genghis Khan himself because he was such an aggressive person. But they honestly, if you look at their horses, like their ability, they put flaming arrows in. So they came up to walled cities. They used catapults with like the early version of Greek fire. And if you remember going back to that video about the Black Plague, they threw plague bodies over the wall in Kaffa and Constantinople. And just good at conducting war. One of the things that they would do is they would send like a little group of soldiers, like a group of 100 soldiers into a town and say, all right, the Mongols are here. Either you have two choices. You can either surrender to us and just pay us money, or we're going to completely destroy your city. And so if you didn't surrender, they completely destroyed cities. So like if you on this map right here, if you look over to Baghdad, Baghdad was arguably that's where Aladdin was, like the book Aladdin came from that. And it was probably like the fanciest city next to the cities in China and maybe Tenochtitlan in America at the time. They burned the entire thing down to the ground. They destroyed it. Nothing exists from before 1258 because of the Mongols. Okay, here you can see them scaling walled cities. And they killed a lot of people. Okay. So that's why like some historians and teachers will go in here and just trash the Mongols. But honestly, when they went and killed people, they also allowed them to, like, they would keep the religious scholars and like educated men. They would keep them and they would take them back to their capital at Karakoram. And so Genghis Khan, he wasn't Christian or Muslim or Buddhist, but he had all these different religions in his capital to try to like help him like learn about other cultures. And that's seen as a positive for sure. Can you fit Alaska and Hawaii in the empire too? Yes. Yes, you can. And spikes on the shoes would work better. Correct. Now, one of the things about the Mongols is they never really ruled over this whole area because they basically just kind of assimilated into these cultures. And so that's why, I mean, like Russia, for example, there's a lot of people from Russia that, let's say, quote unquote, look Asian, but they actually look Mongolian. It's just Russia has tried to eliminate that the Mongols actually existed in their history books. They don't talk about it. It's wild. Like Stalin basically, when he was a leader in the 1940s and 50s, said that the Mongols didn't exist and that the Russia never was part of the Mongol Empire, but they were. He's wrong. And so in the East, they tried to, the Mongols basically adopted Chinese culture until they were kicked out. In the West, a lot of them converted to Islam. And then finally here, this is a word you want to make sure you write down and remember. The Pax Mongolica is basically the same thing as the Pax Sinica, which is the peace of China, or the Pax Romana, which is the peace of Rome. The mid 1200s, especially 1250 to 1350, is this time period called the Pax Mongolica, where you could trade in the Silk Trade route peacefully as long as you, again, paid your taxes to the Mongols. It was the safest the Silk Trade route had ever been. So the city of Constantinople, you'll see like a diamond gem on this map, became the wealthiest city really in the world. And then the Song capital, Hangzhou, very wealthy as well. And even Venetian traders from Venice and Italy became very wealthy also. And then that's when things like we talked about yesterday, gunpowder, compass, paper money, banking, printing press, all these ideas are going to get to Europe through this time period, and the plague also. And again, irony, yes, told you yesterday was the first confirmed case of the coronavirus in China a year ago yesterday. And clearly it's not over yet. Although there are a lot of vaccines being produced here. So see what happens. Okay, so you can see the spread of the Black Plague and very, very, very much can tie it to the Mongols and the fact that they really opened up this trade route for the safest it had ever been. When Genghis Khan died, they split up his empire into 4 different sections, which are called khanates. And basically from here, the people that ruled over these areas just kind of, I would say, just assimilated into them. And Russia would, I think in like around 1400, kick out the Golden Horde. But the capital of Russia used to be the city called Kiev, but the Mongols burned it to the ground and they made Moscow the place where they collected their taxes from the Russian nobles. That's why Moscow is the capital of Russia today. Also then, when the one, like Genghis Khan's grandson, I'll show you this in a second here. Genghis Khan's grandson was named Kublai Kai, and he ruled over China and took his name, like called themselves the Yuan dynasty. And they would rule China for about 80 years. And that's when Marco Polo visited China. Maybe you've heard of Marco Polo before.
Marco.
So I got a teacher in here who wants to play the game Marco Polo in my room right now. But if you ever read any of his readings, like he just talks about how much money they had in China compared to Europe and how much better it was than Europe. And they accepted Christians, they accepted Muslims, they accepted Buddhists and Hindus during that time period in China. And then once the Mongols were pushed out of China, China went right back to being China, which was completely isolated. Okay, I'm going to skip over a little bit here just to show you this. Oh, here's the size of those ships I was telling you about, 440 yards. Those are the junks I was telling you about yesterday. But basically, after this, again, China's going to retreat back into being isolated. And again, for the next 400 years, China says, if you want to trade with us, you have to bring stuff to us. And they limit all of their trade to 2 ports, Macau and Canton. Canton will later be named Hong Kong. Maybe you've heard of it before. It's the banking capital of Asia. And then Macau was controlled by the Portuguese, and it's the gambling capital of Asia. And they're the 2 trade cities in Asia are 2 cities in China that have what's called extraterritoriality, where they have different rules than the rest of China, but China's trying to take them back now. So, all right, I'm going to leave you guys with this. You know, the only homework to get done, if you haven't done it yet, get it done, is your intro for this week. Okay. And then if you haven't finished your project, okay, your African Kingdom project that you've had a long time to work on. Okay. I'm going to stop the share here. Really just want to say thank you for everybody for participating. Ian, that comment you made is interesting. I'm sure you learned a lot or have learned a lot about it. I'm going to ask Mr. Wells, Tony, can you stay on for a minute just so we can talk about, I can show you a couple things for the class. And everybody else, you're free to go. Just get your stuff turned in, okay?
Bye. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, folks. Thanks a lot.
See you, Mr. B.
Yep.
I'll make sure to have that drawing Friday.
You got the Razor horse, and Ethan has the Alien horse. All right. Appreciate it. All right, Tony. I'm going to share that. You still there?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to pull up my Canvas page real quick just to show you a couple things. All right. And I'll share the screen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to do it right here. So, all right. First off, to get into the class, I think you figured it out. You just press on live lessons right there.
Yeah.
To see what's going on. Every week, I make a new module. So since you just joined, we'll just start with this week. We're at week 16. All right. And each week I put a textbook reading up here, and I don't actually reference this in class, but there's what's called an intro. It's an introduction to the textbook reading. that's due every week. And the assignment is right here. And you use, unless you picked up a textbook and I don't know about it, which you might have, or they gave you one, I don't know. But they probably didn't. You're going to use this textbook reading right here, this PDF, to answer the questions for week 16 intro. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And then the notes. So I went over that really quickly because I don't want to keep everyone on here forever because Zoom fatigue will hit in. So these notes are right here if you ever want to look them up, or you can use them on your quiz too. We have a quiz every Friday or Monday, depending on what we can get done.
Okay.
And then Friday we do current events. Everyone's already going to have their current event presented. We already have a schedule that we made like 2 months ago. I'm not going to make you do one unless you want to. So I'll just excuse you from that grade since we only have 3 weeks left. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that's basically how it goes. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay. Just send me a message. Anytime you want to turn something in later, send me a message, send it to me on Canvas in the inbox. Okay.
Okay.
And then if you're interested or if you need to get a hold of me another way, I'm going to pop up my home screen again real quick. Here's the class remind. So you text the number 81010, this message if you want to get on that. If you want to message me that way, you can. And then here's my email address. Everything else is pretty basic. So,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.